All right, welcome. So today we're just going to update our Q3 business planner. All right, for this, I just started recording this video, not planning because I get too in my head, and if I plan too much, it won't get done, because then I'll start thinking about, well, I could be working on this, I could be working on that, I didn't schedule time for this, but I know I need to do this. I'm doing this now, so why not record? I'm recording on my iPhone because my batteries for my camera and everything, so my camera, the batteries are still charging because I didn't plan for this. So we'll do it live. All right. So one thing that I need to know, and we'll do a flip through here, but one thing that I need to know is what specific days I have for writing. And I do theme days. So I start the week on a Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Currently, I have the following planned for theme days. So Mondays are planned for write, self-care, biz. Thursdays are write. And these used to be very different. When I ran Austin Podcasters, I used to have dedicated days for Austin Podcasters. There's a podcast I do with a friend, which I would dedicate a particular day, Mondays, for work regarding that. But I try to consolidate those days. So since COVID and working from home, we mostly record on Saturdays now instead of recording Monday evenings. So that kind of allowed me to write. And so Saturdays are my production days. Typically when I try to record something that I know I'm going to record, so whether it's podcasting, editing a podcast, or editing any video, I try to save that up for Saturday because I get a full day to do that, and these are typically the most time expensive tasks. So, and then Sundays are read and write. And so I try to dedicate Sundays. So these are project writing. And there's some creative writing that hops in, blog posts and stuff like that. So it's what I try to focus. And these are just kind of what I try to aim for on theme days. Of course, depending on the projects and things that you're working on, you may need to define days that are a little bit more, you may need to change the days around. So they're not necessarily set in stone, but it helps me bulk the tasks that I need to complete if they're all on one particular day. So those are the days that I write, or my theme days. So we know that we typically, my work, I get off at 6 p.m. Generally. But I work in support, so that can change. Sometimes there's meetings to 6:30, like on Mondays. There's team meeting from 6 p.m. to 6:30. Thursdays, for example, we have our town halls, which are from 6 p.m. to 7, and that's globally for all of our offices. So I work with a lot of folks around the world, which is why we have those late times for people coming on in Sydney, Australia. Then, so we have to know that generally 6 p.m. work ends, but I generally don't start working on any side projects or anything until I get off work and I've eaten dinner. And that's generally around 8 p.m. is when I actually start. I can start earlier, but I just kind of give a buffer from 6:30 to 7:30 to cook and eat dinner. Then sometimes that actually starts at 7 when I'm cooking, and just chill and relax from work, and then I can actually jump in to working on whatever I assign myself. So if we know work typically ends at 7, then we have like dinner and downtime. We can just estimate, we'll put an asterisk here. I do want lights out at 10 p.m. And we're not going to touch the morning hours right now at this moment in time. I'm trying to do natural wake. So whenever I go to bed and whenever I naturally wake up in the morning. And generally that's around 7. So I'm trying to prioritize health. I'm trying to get better sleep, so I can't sacrifice my sleep. So we know these two things. So then that kind of work ends. So we'll just say start work. So then that gives us 2 hours per night for projects on a weekday. This pen does not like this type of paper. I work in sprints. If you've listened to the podcast, I kind of explain my writing process a little bit. I work in sprints, 25-minute sprints. So we do know that that's 2 hours or 4 sprints. So we can try to do 4 sprints. And it gives a little time for breaks and stuff like that. So 4, and actually we got more. So if I split the time half and half of work hours, so 8 hours, sometimes I'll actually read for 4 to 6 hours, and I'll do like 4 hours of whatever the writing projects are. So we know that if we have 4 hours, we have 8 sprints. So those are just going to be the general days that we have for this ugly, rough schedule. Well, this is how I'm actually thinking about it. So there's a project that I have, Project Dollar, and for Camp Nano, I want to get to a particular word count. So we're going to write this here. And then we're going to say our target count, pulling 4 books from the same genre of, I guess, speculative memoir, if you will. It averages out to about 43K words. And I currently have we'll say 17K words. Yeah. I would need 26,000 more words. But I don't think that I will be getting 26,000 words for the month. So we'll just write that here so we know about that. All right. So this is helpful to kind of know. If we even had another note, let's say in 25 minutes, let's say per sprint. Ooh, I'm pushing myself. Well, yeah, I am pushing myself. I was just thinking of, because I keep a writing log, can I actually write that much? So we'll go for it, because what we're going to do, we can also make it up for time where I'm not in full production. There may even be some days where I may sneak in some writing, or I may not actually have business stuff that I need to take care of. Because I've recently drastically reduced expenses and everything. So those times can be used for writing. Or I can focus an entire Sunday. So there's some way to shift around. We'll keep that as the framework, but there is additional ways to do this to kind of make up for the time. So we'll say per sprint is 500 words. So on my normal nights, so Monday, Thursday, at least 2 nights a week, I should be able to produce 4K words. Yeah, that's a lot. And kind of same here. So I should be able to produce 8K words a week. Is that right? Is that math right? Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to believe it. I kind of wanted to reduce that number, but okay. So that makes it 8K per week, and there should be 34 for July. Which should be more than what I need to finish this book. Okay. All right. This is quite a challenge. You have to understand if you don't listen to the podcast. I don't know which will come first, but I used to run a meetup group for a couple of years, and all of my time has kind of been focused on that. And I haven't been able to get back to this project. So, but I did just finish a short story. And a short story may disappoint for these numbers here, because I'm a slow writer. So this is saying what I should be able to do just on those specific days. But I may have to use more days of writing to actually make these targets. But I know from my writing, though I didn't write every day or force myself to sit and write every day for a recent short story I completed, that was 6,766 words. It's the first creative writing project that I finished in. I truly think it's been over 2 years now. So I'm not sure if I can hit that, let alone this. but we're gonna go for it because I want to do NanoWriMo. So, all right, let's see here. So we know that, and so one of the things that I want to do is I want to use blue for our writing days here. So we're gonna switch and use this blue pen. And so this is probably going to be a portion that I'll give you a quick flip through and then we'll jump back. I'm kind of all over the place, but hey, roll with it. We're going to do it and we'll come back, because if I actually had to sit and plan out this video for the first one, you wouldn't be getting it. So in this, again, this is just a Deluxe planner, a cheap planner. And I am actually going to be filling this out in quite detail because I need to finish my Q3 planning. So we know what July is actually going to be working on, which is already an existing project I wanted to tackle. So, but a few things in here. If I would have known better, I would have set this up on camera, but I did this previously. So a lot of this stuff are these planners, or things that I got, came with, let me move this up a little. I got this planner, like I said, in 2008, or not 2018, and I hadn't used it. 2018, 2019, I hadn't used it. So recently I got some planners for cloth and paper, some weekly inserts, and I got some other things as well, but I don't like, they're nice quality paper, but I have a problem with it. My problem is that they're continuous 52 weeks. And I like to do, I plan yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then daily. Just how I do it. And these, so this is one sheet. But the way that they're structured is that when you inevitably come to one that's uneven and it doesn't match. So again, this is the back of another, so you're not starting off the week that way. And then you have to use one that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? But you can't, and on the back of that Thursday, Friday, Saturday is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't like that. So I may still use these, but I may end up wasting some by gluing some pages together, just so it wouldn't have the rest of there. And I started to try to design my own in InDesign to potentially replace it. So I have to play with the structure of it before I even get to that point. So I'll still use these. I haven't inserted these in yet, but we may do that on camera, and I'll show you what I'm doing. Don't know yet. So we have these. Then we have these tabs, are these, little page tabs, which are pretty cool, to allow you to shift things around if you don't know it's hard set. So I'm just stuffing those there. These dividers are also from cloth and paper. So I got the side tab dividers for specific things. So this is the schedule. And then I got the top tab dividers for the month. So I like that a little bit better. I may remove a month or two out of here. I want it to be per quarter. So this is Q3 quarter. So we'll go through. What came with this? So this is cloth and paper. Then we have the inserts from the lots that came with the planner. So I may actually just go ahead and put July in here and fill out the dates for July. We'll zoom past that. Then we have the July divider, which is pretty cool. So I like that because then I can take these and sticky it on the front for July. So then we have the daily planners. which you saw kind of match what I was already doing. And must have been subconscious, but kind of match what I was already doing in my bullet journal. So 3 critical task dates. You can put the date calendar on here, which is a little bit nicer. I didn't do that. I had specific daily pages. Other tasks, today's wins, progress, goals, things to track. And on the back, just a little space for you to write notes. This is also from cloth and paper, little divider. So one thing that I liked about the set that this came with is that, and this is what I did, I went to split out for the month, is after you get through all your daily pages, you have a reflection on the week, and I do weekly reflection to make sure that, see how things went, what goals and things that I'm tracking, like reading, working out, writing, and which writing is now going to be a little bit more, so maybe I don't have to track that per se. But yeah, a nice little weekly reflection before you get back into your daily pages. So that's pretty cool. We have that for August. And again, I had already went in to actually count out the days and split these up from the stash that I had. And then September. So the reason why I want to change is because, and I'm actually print my own custom ones, is that the month at a glance are front and back. I don't like that. I want to be able to go to July, have a month at a glance, then a weekly page, just one weekly page. I fill out what my goals are for that week, and then I can break down per day. Then when after I do the weekly review, right, you reflect on the last week, I want it to be the next weekly high level, and then you drop into the dailies. And when you get to your next month, the first one should be your monthly outlook, then your weekly, your daily pages, your weekly, daily pages. So that's the setup I prefer. We'll see how I'll do that. Then we get into a pocket folder here from cloth and paper, threw that at the end. Then we have our list. These are, the following pages are just what I got off of Amazon. Yeah, just little pages that I got off of Amazon when I ordered the planner. Then we have projects, just a good few notes, pages for notes or mind mapping for projects. We have finances. I have a pocket here for business receipts, so I do have a receipt that I need to put in here for my mailbox, and other receipts if I use the business card, and can stash in here. So then I can follow it back to my larger binder for storing for taxes. Some graph paper here. Hopefully, I thought graph will go better for any charting or budgets or planning and stuff. So when I'm start planning, okay, for Project Dollar, what's the budget estimates? I already actually have a spreadsheet on this. But, you know, if I wanted to do X or do cover or the short story that I wrote, I may actually want to put that up, and I may just quick jot down some estimates on editing, proofreading, Illustrator, and stuff like that. Then goals and ideas, long-term goals. I do have this, already have page, but may fill this out as well. Then miscellaneous, which is a mixture between just this yellow paper and this brown paper. Pretty cool, nice feel to it. And then I stole this from another planner and hole punched for this. so that it has something to rest to. And then these are just some storyboard stuff, which I actually may use for the next video, because normally when I'm actually planning this stuff out, I storyboard. Not so much now, because I knew if I had to actually have to sit and plan, it wouldn't get done, because I wouldn't worry about doing this and recording this and planning this until August. But knew I wanted to do something to start planning July. So these are pretty cool. Storyboard pages, some Cornell notes. Oh, not too many storyboard pages. One for Pomodoro. So won't get to use much, but it's pretty cool that they had it. And shout out to Austin Podcasters. That was the meetup group I used to run. Now I no longer do that. And this pen is from Ugmonk. I have a chrome or silver one as well. Very satisfying. So we use that. These both, this is not from Ugmonk, but they both have the same weight and ink cartridge. All right, so I may put some of this in and mark some of these days here. So let's go ahead and do that. Then we are going to mark the days where we know, I'm just going to put a W, that it's actually, I don't even need to do that. I'll just put a blue square on the actual day. I thought about doing these specific ones, but since we know Mondays are right, we can just do that. We do half a day for Sunday. This is 1 millimeter. A little bit too thick, but let's go ahead and mark these as well. It's also pretty cool that they start on Monday. Honestly, when I got this planner, I just wanted a planner. I didn't even think about the actual someone's dog. I didn't even actually think about the inserts. So, it's pretty easy to plan when you know specifically what you're doing that day. So, we know that these are half days. We know that these are full days. I'll just use this. Not full days, but you know what I mean. and it's called Project Dollar. So I'll just put PD, PD4, meaning Project Dollar for sprints. So we know specifically on those days, especially for Camp Nano, and because this project, y'all, it's been, if you listen to the podcast, I talked about my writing. I finished the actual first draft of this project in 2018, and I started the rewrite. So I threw away, funny enough, nearly, I think it was 18 or 19,000 words. I threw away and then I restarted writing it. But I had nowhere near the schedule and stuff that I'm currently planning now, because I also had Austin podcasters, and I was given priority to, rightfully so, I wanted to make sure people were taken care of. But the longer I went, the longer this wasn't get done. And with all of COVID, I was like, what do you want to be working on? And it was this. So I'll be writing PD4 and I'll write PD8 on Sundays, PD8, because we can do 8 sprints. Remember, a sprint is 25 minutes. So when we were working through, we said on the weeknights, Monday and Thursday, since those are our writing theme days, we can do 4 sprints, 25 minutes a sprint. That's, that's 2 hours, less than 2 hours, but but you get what I'm saying. So we have 2 hours a night. Code stop, lights out at 10 p.m. and we can get that done. And Sunday, we have half a day. So we have 4 hours dedicated to writing. And we could get more, but of course there's, other life things. So we can do 4 hours. So we have 8 hours per week to do that. And we're estimating or targeting 500 words per sprint. So 500 words every 25 minutes. I can write between 750 and 1,000 in an hour. I can do that if I'm feeling pretty good. But I try to focus more on the sprints. If I can hit this, that'll be great. But that's kind of what we're just targeting and estimating to do 8K per week for 8 hours. Again, that's breakdown, right? We got 8 hours. That's 1,000 words per hour that I'm trying to produce. So with that, those specific days, those hours that we have is 34,000 words for July. And we're needing 26 if we want to hit the average, about 43,000 words for other books similar in my genre. It's okay if it's less since I'm self-publishing. I don't have the print requirements of big publishers, but that's kind of what we're aiming for. That's what most people, I guess, would expect from that genre. And I just pick some random books within that genre. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It should be as long as the story needs. But we'll see. This is going to be a challenge for sure. So if we know that, we have those 3 specific days. Now remember, if it doesn't go successful one night, things come up. We do have, I do read on other days. I try to read before work and read before bed, et cetera, et cetera. Sundays have just been kind of partially dedicated to just reading most of the day and not watching any TV or anything. So there's ways to shift around if we need more, if I'm actually not meeting this and not hitting this goal. So My goal is what I'm going to shoot for what I actually need. I'm going to shoot for 26,000 words. And if I overshoot that, that would be great. So what I mean is that I'm going to put 26,000 words for my goal because I don't want to murder myself. That's why I got self-care days built in, because sometimes, you just need to take care of yourself. So the blue, we're saying is right. I'm just making a note. So that blue is right. And I do actually have other colors, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we're going to focus on blue. So we know that we have 16 days to write, half a month, technically. It should be doable. So we know we have these particular days, so I'm going to write PD4. So we know that these are project dollar dates, and we're going to do, I'll put it at the bottom here, PD4, and Sundays again are PD8. When you work on theme days, it really makes it easy to bulk your tasks because you know specifically what you're doing for those particular days. You just have to work out the amount of work you can do in those 2 days. So on the Productivity Lab, another podcast that I do, me and my co-host talks about all sorts of productivity. We talked about theme days. We talked about doing an audit on our time because we do time tracking as well. And it makes it really easy, again, to know that if you're dedicated, you have theme days where you can bulk your work. It really makes it easy for what you can do. And because I keep a writing log, and I'll share my writing log template, and maybe even slide in a picture of what that actually looks like. So you can see I may have to change some project names or blur them out, but you can estimate the amount of output and things that you can do. Now, try not to get too hung up on word count. It's a goal, yes, but I'm more interested in the process to get there, right? And that's writing, and that's sprints, using sprints for me, dedicated focus time within blocks to be able to achieve that. Because then if I look at sprints, if I know that I can dedicate to do 2 or 4 sprints of work, then that's great. I was able to put that time. But if I don't produce 500 words in a sprint, that's okay. Yes, I have a goal, I didn't do it, but ultimately what's more important is that I was writing, I wrote. Even if I wrote 250 words for that sprint, I was writing. So I was still following a process to eventually get me there. But that's besides the point. So I'm trying to think, is there more that I need to plan? I don't actually think there is. I'll probably actually dive down once I fully go through everything else I want to complete, like editing this video, some other editing projects, other things that I'm doing outside of Apex This. I'll then come back and then work around whatever else. But the most important thing I want to get done for the month of July, kicking off Q3, is Project Dollar, or to work on Project Dollar and focus on writing for Project Dollar. So if we know that we have theme days regarding writing, and your project is to write. You just have to kind of work backwards. So we know that we're trying to hit this goal, 43,000 words. We know that we currently have 17,000 words written, and we need about 26,000 words. It doesn't get into any of the plotting or anything else that you need for it, but we know we need to get to this particular amount. So with the days that we have to write, what can we produce? I know that I can produce really good about 1,000 words per hour. That's 500 words per sprint we can get done. And with all of that available time, we can see how much estimates of what we can produce per week, per month with that dedicated time. And then we can plot that out. So then the most important piece is I'll come back and I'll fill this out, and maybe I'll do just a quick flip through of what the rest of the month actually look like. Once I go through my Trello pages or Trello boards and plot in things that I want to focus on. So then I'll actually have a dedicated list of everything that I want to accomplish for February, and then I need to go, but and then I'll fill this in with estimates. So we'll know that specific days are dedicated to writing, so that should be the only thing that should be a top priority when I fill this out. I think I'm going to kind of end it here. This video went much longer than I was actually expecting, but I needed to do this. I needed to estimate where my word count is, what I needed to do, what I can actually produce, what days I can do that, and then identify those days and block them off. And so that we know that on these particular days that I'm doing a weekday, 4 sprints of writing for Project Dollar, 8 sprints of writing for Project Dollar, to try to get a completed draft of 43,000 words. That would be amazing. That would be the most that I've ever written. So with that, we're going to end the video. Thank you. If you've come this long, I appreciate you watching this video. I'm a hot mess, as you can see. I didn't plan this, and stick this there. I didn't plan this. I knew that I needed to submit the Project Dollar for Camp Nano, and I wanted to submit that tonight for me and my buddy to hold ourselves accountable for writing and to report on our progress for writing. Therefore, I needed to identify the dates of which I could write and how much I could write. So then the most important piece is going to be actually doing it. So I'll do another video once I actually get Q3 planned. Then I'll fill out the rest of what I'm hoping to complete and kind of give you a flip through of the month of July maybe. So again, our focus is on writing, but thanks again. I'm rambling at this point. It's been quite a while since I've actually done a video. So hopefully I can get back into it, do more of these, and you can see more behind the scenes of planning for ApexThis, productivity for ApexThis, how I'm writing, things that I'm learning and writing, and everything else on my self-publishing journey as a indie author, an indie publisher. So this is exciting times. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment of anything that you would like to see, anything you would like to know more of. and we'll start getting into it, and I'll be solidifying my publishing schedule. I've already kind of gone over that. I just actually need to insert it into here. So you'll kind of see some of those things once I round out the rest of my calendar and time. All right, that's it, everyone. Take care. Peace.